Good guitar players don't really need pedals. Hey, we're talking about amplifiers I brought to the studio for Summer Wish Book, and this week it's yet another one of those Carsbro Fatboys you see lying around everywhere.
Fatboys? Yeah! Fat Boys! That's damn!
What's a Carsbro Fatboy, you ask? Well, it says here on the tin that it's an all-valve Class A guitar amplifier, and that is factually correct.
Fake news.
12 AX7s into EL34s. EL34s must sound just like a classic Vox. Okay, sure. EL34s must sound just like a classic Marshall. Okay, sure. Unless there's more to amp design than just shoving tubes in a box. Anyway, those tubes and some other circuits are now fed through squeaky carousel, a closed back Celestion Vintage 30. What you end up with is about 30 watts and a lot of clean headroom if you want clean sounds, and I like clean sounds. So you can run this gain up to about here and still get what we laughingly refer to as a clean guitar sound. And you can use this EQ to tweak it. The mid's going to do most of your heavy lifting, we'll get to why later. And then over here is the master volume, and you're going to turn that up a little more than you normally do because that sealed back gives you big, fat, sparkly cleans, but they don't cut quite as much as they do when you got an open back cabinet.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
So when you do that thing when you bend a note on the G string and hold a note on the B string right in the middle of your solo, it's not louder than the snare drum. And that makes you question why you're even doing what you're doing. So you turn up a little bit more and feel good about yourself. And then you put up a little reverb so you can hear that same thing over and over and over again. There are 3 buttons on this amplifier that differentiate it from any other amplifiers. The most obvious one is the scoop.
What's the scoop here today? What's the scoop here today? What's the scoop here?
Guitar is mostly mid-range, so a scoop switch is there to cut out most of the mid-range. And you may question,
how long you been coming here for? Not consistent enough to actually say I have been. You know? Skipping around for about a year. Okay. What did I miss?
why would you have a knob like that on a guitar, on an amplifier? And the answer is, if you've ever heard somebody do that thing where they bend a note in the G string while they hold a note in the B string like 5 times in a row in a solo, you'll wonder why there aren't 5 of these on an amplifier.
You know, I just want to thank everybody here for letting us come and find out what's the scoop.
This is the fat switch from which the amplifier derives its name. Theoretically, what happens when you push this switch in is, if you're playing single coil pickups, they'll behave more like humbucking pickups. Does it work? Well, I use single coil pickups all the time because I like single coil pickups. And when I play them into this amplifier and push in the fat switch, I don't like it anywhere near as much. The mids get indistinct and squashy and it feels like being in a cover band. So yeah, it works perfectly. That's just like using humbuckers. And then this here is the gain button. And here comes Tyler asking, oh, can it get good metal sounds? Oh, Tyler, the gods are smiling on you this week, because depending on your definition of metal, this probably gets better metal sounds than whatever you're using. If your amplifier has a Y in the middle of the name, this gets better metal sounds than your amplifier. Otherwise, you may be questioning whether you overspent on the number of rectifiers. If you push this in, you run this up, you do the classic mid-scoop nonsense, you get crunchy goodness and a surprising amount of versatility. You can play around with the gain, you can play around with the EQ and get a lot of really nice crunch, but I like clean sounds, and this provides clean sounds with a lot of sparkle and a lot of extra low, and that's what I like. So what you have here overall is an amplifier that's not quite as versatile as the YCV40, but in the 2 ranges that it works, it is surprisingly tweakable, really fun to work with.
Have some fun with it. Go, wee! Just enjoy.
Great amplifier to bring to the studio and get sounds, which makes it ironic because I didn't end up using this at all on Summer Wish Book, and the answer to why I didn't use it at all will be covered next time.